Monday, May 19th. The battleship Bismarck set sail from the naval base of Gottenhafen, Gdynia, on the Polish-Baltic coast of the Bay of Gdansk, commanded by Captain Ernst Lindemann and with Admiral Gunther Lütjens on board. Together with the cruiser Prinz Eugen, it heads for the Atlantic to carry out Operation Rheinübung, the aim of which is to sink as many Allied supply ships en route to Britain as possible. Meanwhile, 7 submarines attack convoy HX-126 using Wolfpack tactics and sink 11 ships. In the Mediterranean, German planes continue to bomb Crete, destroying most of the British fighter planes on the airfields. 2 destroyers and 5 merchant ships are also damaged in the Bay of Souda. In Iraq, Middle East, after 24 hours of fighting, during which the RAF is able to keep control of the air despite the presence of Luftwaffe and Italian fighter and bomber planes, the city of Fallujah, on the banks of the river Euphrates, is occupied by British troops. The Allies continue their march towards Baghdad, 70 kilometers to the east, where Rashad Ali and his governments are based. Tuesday, May 20th. At 5:30 in the morning, the Germans launch a fierce attack on the airfields of Melamna and Heraklion in Crete. Meanwhile, at the Greek bases of Megara, Corinth, and Tanagra, J-52s carrying paratroopers commanded by General Kurt Student are prepared for the first large-scale airborne attack in history. More than 40,000 Allied soldiers, British, Australians, New Zealanders, and Greeks are stationed on the island, led by General Bernard Freyberg. The Germans begin Operation Mercury, Merkur, the prelude to the Battle of Crete. A total of 25,000 men, 4,500 of them paratroopers, have the mission of driving the Allied troops from the island. The first wave of attacks is repelled by the Allied defenders, with the Germans suffering high casualties. After a delay, the second wave of airborne troops is able to besiege the airfield at Melemna and cut its lines of communication. Unable to contact headquarters, Lieutenant Colonel Leslie Wilton Andrew, commanding the New Zealander troops defending the complex, orders his men to withdraw during the night, clearing the way for the German forces. From Tokyo, Soviet spy Richard Sorge informed Stalin that the Germans have prepared more than 170 divisions for the invasion of Russia. The communist leader believes that it is all a plot to distract him, and Germany remains an ally of Russia. In the Sea War, the battleship Bismarck and the Prinz Eugen are sighted by the Swedish cruiser Gotland in the Strait of Kattegat, between the Jutland Peninsula and the Swedish west coast. Wednesday, May 21st. In the Mediterranean, the first Junker planes start to land on Crete at the deserted airfield of Melemna, and the town is occupied by German paratroopers. Despite the heavy losses of men and aircraft, the J-52s land one after another, loaded with weapons, munitions, and infantry. Allied resistance puts the brakes on the German army's attempt to take the peninsula of Akrotiri, Rethymnon, and Heraklius. However, the German High Command is confident that the most critical phase of the operation has been carried out successfully, and the next objective is to clear the north coast of the island, which is being patrolled by Royal Navy ships. In the Sea War, the Bismarck and the Prinz Eugen reached the North Sea. entering Korsvfjord in northern Norway and anchoring in Grimstadfjord, close to Bergen. Later that day, they are spotted by a Spitfire of the Coastal Command, which immediately reports the sighting to the British fleet. The Commander-in-Chief of the Home Fleet, Admiral John Tovey, orders the heavy cruisers Norfolk and Suffolk, captained by Counter-Admiral William Wake Walker, to patrol the Strait of Denmark. At the same time, ships under the command of Vice Admiral Lancelot Ernst Holland set sail from Scapa Flow, heading for Iceland. These include the cruiser Hood, the battleship Prince of Wales, as well as the destroyers Achatz, Antelope, Anthony, Echo, Icarus, and Electra. Admiral Tovey remains at Scapa Flow, on board the flagship cruiser King George V, waiting to see what will happen. Thursday, May 22nd. Royal Navy ships patrolling the northern coast of Crete in search of German troop ships coming from Greece are forced to endure the attacks of enemy planes. During the battle, the destroyer Juno and the cruiser Gloucester are sunk, while the Ajax, the Warspite, and the Valiant, which has on board midshipman Prince Philip of Greece, are damaged. The British are forced to retreat. Around Heraklion and Rethymnon, German paratroopers suffer hundreds of casualties due to Allied fire and request reinforcements. Meanwhile, General Bernard Freyberg, after failing to take Melemna Airport from the east, orders the withdrawal of his troops. In the sea war, the Bismarck and the Prinz Eugen face adverse weather conditions and have received an anti-submarine alert. They zigzag in a northwest direction towards the Denmark Strait, while the destroyers that follow them head eastwards towards Trondheim, Norway. Admiral Tovey, alerted to the situation, set sail with the battleship King George, the aircraft carrier Victorious, 5 cruisers, and 6 destroyers. The battle cruiser Repulse, located in the Clyde on the western coast of Scotland, is ordered to join the group. Meanwhile, the Norfolk and the Suffolk, equipped with new radar systems, continue their journey towards the Denmark Strait, which separates Iceland from Greenland with the objective of intercepting the German ships. U-69, commanded by Jost Metzler, sinks the American merchant ship Robin Moore. President Roosevelt denounces the attack and warns that the Americans are ready to intervene. Friday, May 23rd. In the Mediterranean theater, German troops occupy Chania in Crete as reinforcements continue to arrive. The Allied forces withdraw towards Galatos. At the same time, the Luftwaffe attacks Royal Navy ships, sinking the destroyers Kashmir and Kelly, commanded by Lord Mountbatten, who manages to save his life by jumping overboard. In Berlin, Hitler issues his Directive No. 30, in which he delays all operations in southern Europe until Russia has been occupied. The battleship Bismarck and the cruiser Prince Eugen enter the Denmark Strait. The Suffolk and the Norfolk patrol the northern coast of Iceland with the help of radar in the thick fog. At dusk, the German ships are spotted by the cruiser Suffolk, and Captain Robert Mayrick Ellis informs Admiral John Tovey on board the battleship King George V of their position. Later that day, the Bismarck opens fire on the heavy cruiser Norfolk, which is forced to hide behind a smokescreen. The British ships merely track the German vessels on radar while awaiting the arrival of the other units. During the night, Admiral Gunther Lütjens tries to elude the enemy ships. Saturday, May 24th. At dawn, and with improved visibility, the British and German ships see each other. The battle cruiser Hood and battleship Prince of Wales steam at full speed towards the Bismarck and the Prinz Eugen. Vice Admiral Holland prefers a close-range engagement, where he believes he has more chance of winning. The Battle of Denmark Straits begins between the biggest warships in the world. Holland orders the Hood to open fire against the Prinz Eugen, mistaking it for the Bismarck, while the Prince of Wales targets the colossal German battleship. Many of the British shells fall short of their targets, but the Bismarck is hit 3 times and begins to take on water and leak fuel in its wake. The response of the Kriegsmarine ships is immediate, and the Prinz Eugen hits the Hood, causing a serious fire on board. The Bismarck's guns come into action, shelling from a distance of 16 kilometers, 17,500 yards. The Hood's munitions hold is hit, causing a huge explosion that sinks the ship in less than 2 minutes. Only 3 of the 1,421 crew members survive. The Prince of Wales, after being hit several times, takes flight behind a smokescreen. After the 30-minute battle, Admiral Lütjens orders his ships to head to the base of Saint-Nazaire in France. The Royal Navy vessels chasing keep track of them on their radar screens.